This is going to be a comprehensive guide to give you everything you need to know about the 6th boss fight of the Sunken Temple, Morphaz and Hazzas, and how to easily beat them. After beating Jamalin and Ogum, you'll have to go back through the hallways you came down with new sets of ads. Then, once in the circular arena where we fought the defenders and Dreamscythe and Weaver, make your way down the opposite hallway. Here, you'll see Hazzas circling a square room at the end of the short hallway. You can take a minute here in the hallway to buff up and prepare for the pull. You want to enter the room as he passes just by you, and wait for him to circle the room, phasing him away from the raid. Ensure everyone enters before you pull Hazzas, as the lockout for this arena is fairly far up, and it's easy for someone lagging behind to get locked out of the fight and not be able to enter till you wipe. This is essentially a 2-phase fight, where you go through both phases twice. Phase 1 will have you fighting Hazzas, and Phase 2 will happen when he spawns fire elementals, and you'll be sent into the dream to DPS down Morphaz while he casts Eternal Slumber. Then, you'll need to be pulled out of the dream, and you will transition back to Phase 1. This cycle repeats once more, and the second time you enter the dream, you'll have to burn down the boss completely, or you'll wipe. Now that we have the phases down, let's talk about the mechanics of this fight. For most of the fight, you'll be fighting Hazzas, who has 3 main combat abilities. He has Corrupted Breath, which is a conal he'll cast in front of him that will do a large amount of nature damage and apply a nature dot on anyone hit. This should really only be a worry for the tanks, but we'll get into positioning in a second. This will also require a tank swap when applied, as there's a large amount of damage between the initial hit and the dot. Conversely, Hazzas has Backfire, which is a tail swipe, which will be a conal behind him, damaging and knocking back anyone that is hit by it. You want to position everyone except the tank on Hazzas' side by his wings. This means when you do the tank swap due to Corrupted Breath, you want to try and keep Hazzas from moving as much as possible so that the DPS can keep uptime and don't have to shuffle around to stay on his wings. His final combat ability is Dreamer's Lament, which is a nature damage dot Hazzas will put on a handful of players at a time. This will deal a moderate amount of damage and will have to be healed through. This is where we can get into the phase transition. This will happen at 80% the first time, and again at 30%. Hazzas will first cast Animated Flame, spawning flame elementals that will drop fire on the ground when killed. When you step in this fire, you are given a debuff called On Fire that causes you to run with increased run speed. This will also keep you from being sent to the dream by Hazzas' final ability. You want to have melee move away just before they are killed so they can go into the dream. After casting Animated Flame, you will begin casting Lucid Dreaming, which is a 20-second cast that sends anyone without the debuff from the fire left by the elementals into the dream to face Morphaz, leaving their sleeping body outside the dream. This is the DPS's chance to do as much damage to Morphaz as they can, because in the dream, he takes 100% extra damage, so you can burn a lot of their shared health bar down. Once in the dream, Hazzas will cast Eternal Slumber, which is a 30-second cast that will kill anyone still in the dream when the cast goes off. For the first transition into Phase 2, you want your tanks and most of your healers to stay awake, as they will have to use the On Fire debuff to wake everyone up before Eternal Slumber can go off, or else everyone left in the dream will die. Keep in mind that when you get on fire, you can only wake up 1 raid member before you have to run back into the fire to get another stack of the debuff. If you're left in the dream in the last few seconds, you can find roots around the edges of the room that you can DPS down and interact with to wake yourself up, to keep yourself from dying from the cast of Eternal Slumber. This will put us back into Phase 1, which is identical to the start of the fight until you get Hazzas down to 30% health, where we'll enter the transition again. This time, focus the boss and don't kill the ads, as everyone needs to go down to the dream for the final burn phase. You'll have 30 seconds to do the rest of the boss's remaining health, or else the whole raid will wipe, and you'll have to restart the fight. If you can keep enough DPS alive through the fight to burn the boss down from 30% at the end, you'll be 6 out of 8 in no time. I hope you found this guide helpful and have some success in raid night, whether you're pugging or running Sunken Temple with your guild. Don't forget to send this video to your tanks and your raid leader so you can clear the 6th boss fight of Sunken Temple with ease. A like and a follow help out the channel a ton, and I'll be streaming more Phase 3 content over on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/thatsdylan. You'll find more Sunken Temple raid guides in the linked playlist. Thanks for watching.